It had worked. The Twits were now on top of the ceiling and their heads were stuck on it. So now it was time for the monkeys to escape. That evening, Mugglewump and his family went up to the big wood on the top of the hill, and in the tallest of all they built a marvellous tree house. All of the birds, especially the big ones, the crow and the rooks and the magpie, they made their nests around the tree house so nobody could see it from the ground. You can't stay up here forever, you know, the roly-poly bird said. Why not? It's a lovely place. Just wait till the winter comes, the roly-poly said. Monkeys don't like the cold weather, do they? Oh, they most certainly do not, cried Mugglewump. The winter's so very cold over here. It's all snow and ice, said the roly-poly bird. Sometimes it's so cold a bird will wake up in the morning with his feet frozen to the bough that he's been roosting on. Then what are we going to do? Cried Mugglewump. My family will all be deep freezed. No, they won't, said the roly-poly bird, because when the first leaves start falling from the trees is the autumn. You can all fly home to Africa with me. Don't be ridiculous, Mugglewump said. Monkeys can't fly. You can all sit on my back, said the roly-poly bird. I shall take you one at a time. You will travel by the roly-poly superjet, and it won't cost you a penny. So, the birds are happy, but look at Mr. and Mrs. Twit. The Twits get the shrinks. Down in the horrid house, Mr. and Mrs. Twit are still stuck upside down to the floor of the living room. It's all your fault, yelled Mr. Twit, thrashing his legs in the air. You're the one, you ugly cow, who went hopping around shouting, we're upside down, we're upside down. And you're the one who said to stand on our heads so we'd be the right way up. You whiskery old warthog, screamed Mrs. Twit. Now we'll never get free. We're stuck here forever. Huh, you may be stuck here forever, said Mr. Twit, but not me, I'm getting away. Mr. Twit wriggled and squirmed, and he squiggled and he wormed, and he twisted and he turned and he choggled and he churned, but the sticky glue held him to the floor just as tightly as it had once held the poor birds in the big dead tree. He was still as upside down as ever, standing on his head. But heads are not made to be stood upon. If you stood on your head for a long time, a horrid thing happens, and this was where Mr. Twit got his biggest shock of all. With so much weight on it from above, his head began to get squashed into his body. Quite soon, it had disappeared completely, sunk out of sight in the fatty folds of his flabby neck. I'm shrinking, burbled Mr. Twit. So am I, cried Mrs. Twit. Help me, save me, call a doctor, I'm getting the dreaded shrinks, yelled Mr. Twit. And so he was. Mrs. Twit was getting the shrinks too, and this time it wasn't a fake, it was the real thing. Their heads shrank into the necks, then their necks began shrinking into their bodies. Oh dear, what's going to happen? And their bodies began shrinking into their legs, and their legs began shrinking into their feet. And 1 week later, on a nice sunny afternoon, a man called Fred came round to read the gas meter. When nobody answered the door, Fred peeped into the house, and there he saw, on the floor of the living room, 2 bundles of old clothes, 2 pairs of shoes, and a walking stick. There was nothing more left in the world of Mr. and Mrs. Twit. And everyone, including Fred, shouted, Hooray! Wow, that was a fun book. And always when you finish a book, you do Mr. Tim a little review. Thank you.